Hey everybody, and welcome to the Delta Shootaround preview. Joey Ramirez here with assistant coach Brian Shaw. B-Shaw, when you take a look at this Lakers team, it all starts with Lonzo Ball, and you've been without him for so long. He finally came back in the last game. How does he change the dynamic of your team when you have Zoe running the show?
Well, you have a natural leader on the floor and a guy that probably has the highest basketball IQ on our team that comes back to join us. And so just kind of energizes and invigorates the rest of the guys on the team. You see him getting out in transition a little bit more, cutting harder, setting screens better, and rolling to the basket harder because they know he's a willing passer, and if they're open, he's going to get the ball to them.
Specifically, Luke was just saying that Brandon Ingram tends to play a lot better when Zoe's there, helping him get out on the break, streaking down the court. What do you see from B.I. when he's got that guy running the floor for him?
Well, a lot of times when Lonzo isn't in there, B.I. takes on the facilitating role, and so what it does is it allows us to have a little bit more balance. So B.I. can attack on the second side a lot of times instead of always initiating the attack. And I think that not just B.I. but Lonzo sets the table for everybody on our team. It makes it easier for everybody because of the fact that I said he's a willing passer. He understands the game and how to deliver the ball on time and on target.
Now, on Saturday, Andrew Bogut was waived by the team. Obviously, he was a big part of the defensive identity of this team. Now, moving forward, obviously defense has also been an issue lately. How do you envision this team playing with much more small ball when it comes to Julius and Larry at the 5?
Well, it's going to put a lot of weight on their backs and on their shoulders. First of all, Andrew Bogut was the kind of teammate that I would have loved to have, if he was around when I was playing. And he meant so much to our team, not just on the court, but off the court, just the presence that he had in the locker room. And unfortunately, this is it's part of the business. But, it's going to, hopefully the guys that are here soaked up some of the things that, from being around Bogut when he was here, how he plays defense, how he communicates, the presence that he had on the floor, and a guy that accepted his role and found a niche for himself. He didn't try to do anything outside of what his abilities allow him to do.
Now, those guys down low are going to have a pretty big challenge in this game against the Hawks. Dennis Schroeder is one of the best driving point guards in this league. What is the challenge of defending him, and what do you tell your guys?
Well, we have with anybody, you want to just make them work for anything that they get, and he puts extreme pressure on your defense because he gets in the paint, and Atlanta has a lot of spacing. They have shooters, and so they move the ball around. I think they're number one in the league in terms of passes that they make per game, and so we just can't allow them to swing the ball freely, and he's the head of the snake, so we have to definitely address him.
Last thing for you, Coach, playing the Hawks, it really takes us back to 2006. I don't know if you remember this game. You were an assistant coach for Phil Jackson back then. Kobe Bryant was out with a sprained ankle. The Lakers needed someone to turn to, and somebody stepped up for 25 points to lead the Lakers to victory. Do you remember who that is?
It must have been Luke Walton.
It was Luke Walton. We're going to roll the highlights right now. Luke Walton, 10 of 13 shooting, career-high 25 points. What do you remember about Luke's game?
Well, Luke was a very cerebral player, and, that was one of the things that I know that attracted him to Phil Jackson. A guy who, once again accepted his role, wasn't blessed with the physical attributes of a lot of NBA players at his size, but because he could think the game and he had solid fundamentals, he was always able to be effective when he got out there on the floor, and he helped make his teammates better. And so hopefully the highlights that you're about to show of him having his career high and stepping up in that game when we needed to can rub off subliminally to our team, because we need to get this win tonight.
Now, you coached in a ton of games. You played in a ton of games. Do you remember this game at all that Luke went off in?
If I'm being honest with you, actually, I do not.
Well, it's good to have a guy like Luke to step in when Kobe goes down. I know you've had to fill in for Kobe yourself sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you hear that cliche, next man up, and that's really what it boils down to. When one man goes down, it's an opportunity for the next man, and so in that case, Luke definitely took advantage of his opportunity.
I mean, should have just built the team around Luke. All right, that's B. Shaw. I'm Joey Ramirez. We got Lakers and Hawks tonight at Staples Center. We'll see you there.